Week 16 of the fantasy basketball season. Here's a few centers I looked at off the wire this week. The first guy, Paul Reed of the Philadelphia 76ers. So Reed's going to fill in now, looks like, for the remainder of the season for Joel Embiid, unless he comes back from the MCL injury, which he's getting surgery on his Embiid. So on the season for Reed, 6.1 points a game, 5 rebounds, 1.2 assists, and 54% from the field. But the last couple weeks since he stepped in to the lineup since Embiid's been down, 9 points a game, 6.9 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 1.1 steals, and 52% from the field. So right now available in 50% of fantasy leagues. He's obviously getting good playing time, anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes per game with Embiid out. And I know there's a possibility at the deadline any day now that we could see this Sixer team go out there and make a trade for a center, maybe a Kelly Olynyk who's available. Clint Capella, even though he's banged up a little bit, is a possibility. But anyway, Reed right now is the pickup with Joel Embiid on the shelf. February 1st to Utah, 7 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, 33% from the field. And February 3rd, it was just a bad game for him. 2 points, 4 rebounds, and 20% from the field. So Reed now, like I said, he's going to get playing time. I know Mo Bamba's over there as well with this Philadelphia 76er team, but Reed's been in the starting lineup. He's getting an opportunity, and he's a player that could rebound the basketball at a decent rate, I believe. So right now, while he's out there in 50% of fantasy leagues and getting the first crack at Embiid's playing time where he could rebound and almost average a double-double, I believe. If he gets extended playing time, he's an ad this week off the wire. But obviously, if they make a deal for another center, then he's not going to be on the radar, most likely, for fantasy owners. The next ad, Santi Aldama of the Memphis Grizzlies. So I know Aldama is banged up with a tailbone injury a little bit, but he's getting a lot of playing time of late. And this Grizzly team, they've had a lot of injuries this season. In their last ball game, 10 players were ruled out in that one. So on the season, 10.5 points a game, 5.7 rebounds, 1.9 assists, 1.7 threes, and 43% from the field. But the last couple of weeks, 11.7 points a game, 6.3 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 2.3 threes, and 42% from the field. So Aldama, he qualifies at center and powered forward, available right now still in a decent amount of fantasy leagues at 68%. And like I said, he's going to get an opportunity with all these injuries on this Memphis Grizzly team where it's either going to be at the small forward, it's going to be at the center position, whatever's opening up, because Ja Morant's out for the season. Desmond Bane, he's out extended period of time. Jaren Jackson and Xavier Tillman, they've both been out of the lineup a little bit the last couple weeks on and off. And right now, if Aldama could come back from this tailbone injury, he's definitely a player that could put up some numbers. January 28th at the Pacers, 10 points, 6 boards, an assist, 2 threes, 36% from the field. January 29th versus the Kings, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 5 threes, 35% from the field. February 1st versus the Cavs, 18 points, 9 boards, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 4 threes, 58% from the field. And February 2nd versus the Warriors, it was a down game for him. 2 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 12% from the field. Then he missed February 4th game at the Celtics, and he's questionable for tomorrow's game at the New York Knicks. But anyway, Aldama, he's a guy who will go out there and add, like I said, with a bunch of injuries. And he's someone that could score the basketball, hit the 3-ball, and rebound. So I think he's a decent ad this week, available, like I said, in 68% of fantasy leagues. The next ad's Moritz Wagner of the Orlando Magic. So I'm surprised Wagner's still out there in tons of fantasy leagues at 84% on the season. 11.4 points a game, 4.6 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and 58% from the field. But the last couple weeks, 12.4 points a game, 4.9 rebounds, 1.1 assists, and 57% from the field. So Wagner getting some decent playing time, anywhere from 15, 25 minutes per game. And he's a guy that can score the basketball at a decent rate and rebound as well. And his field goal percentage has been pretty solid the last few weeks. January 31st at the Kings, 10 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, a block, 55% from the field. February 2nd in Minnesota, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 66% from the field. And February 4th at the Detroit Pistons, 10 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, 100% from the field. So like I said, rebounding, scoring at a decent rate, and the field goal percentage, he'll definitely help fantasy owners, is Moritz Wagner. And I believe he's underowned in many leagues out there in 84% of fantasy leagues. Next ad's Marvin Bagley of the Washington Wizards. So Bagley got traded to the Wizards a few weeks ago from the Detroit Pistons, and he was playing good basketball before he went down with a back injury. So Bagley, we know throughout his career, injuries and the poor play have definitely been a problem for him, where he's bounced around a little bit from the Kings, Pistons, and now the Wizards on the year. 11.4 points a game, 5.4 rebounds, 1.1 assists, and 59% from the field. But the last couple weeks, 13.8 points a game, 7.4 rebounds, 1.2 assists, and 72% from the field for Bagley. But he's missed the last 2 ball games, like I mentioned, with the back injury. But like I said, at the deadline, Daniel Gafford possibly could get traded from this Wizard team. They want to see what they have with the young guys. Once again, they're a team that's out of it, and seeing what guys could pan out and help him in the future. So the last few games before he went out for Bagley, January 27th at the Pistons, 13 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, a steal, 42% from the field. January 29th at the Spurs, 15 points, 3 rebounds, and assists, 83% from the field. And January 31st versus the Clippers, 10 points, 8 boards, 2 assists in that one, and 71% from the field. So for the most part, he's a 3-category type of player, scoring at a decent rate at the center position, good rebounder, and field goal percentage has been solid for him as well throughout his career, where he's more of a traditional old-school center, rebounding, a lot of putbacks, a lot of dunks, and 10, 12 points per game. So if you want that on your fantasy team, Bagley definitely could bring that to owners and hopefully returns from this back injury sooner than later. Available in 70% of fantasy leagues in the 5th and final center. I looked at off the wire this week here. Thaddeus Young of the Toronto Raptors, a Young available in 94% of fantasy leagues, and he's been playing decent basketball over the last few weeks. He qualifies a power forward and center, and Jakob Poeltl, I know, has returned to the lineup for the Raptors. On the year, 5.1 points a game, 3.1 rebounds, 2.3 assists, and 61% from the field. But the last few weeks here for Young, 9.7 points a game, 5.2 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and 73% from the field. So Young, throughout his career, he's always been a decent ball player in many categories, where he's a good passer, good rebounder, and he could be a guy that could score the basketball a little crafty. So January 30th at the Bulls, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 61% from the field. February 2nd at Houston, 8 points, 4 boards, and assists, 100% from the field. And February 4th at the Thunder, I know the scoring wasn't great, but he gave you at least 6 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, a steal, a block, 75% from the field. So right now, Thad Young playing anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes per game for this Raptor team. There's a possibility he might get traded at the deadline as well, where we saw the Raptors already unload Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby earlier before this deadline, which is Thursday here. But like I said, Thad Young's a good veteran. He passes the basketball at a decent rate, and he can help fantasy owners. And even if he goes to a contender, so that's a few centers I looked at off the wire for Week 16 of the fantasy basketball season.